I sat here and I watched Money Rules channel. His channel is The Modern Investor. I think he is a black American. I don't recall, but he's been living in Europe for a long time and he has undoubtedly been a Bitcoin millionaire for quite some time and whatnot. So he brought up that half of American adults have $500 or less in their savings account. That was like 178 million people. That's a lot of people. And, I meet people online, I meet people from foreign countries, and a lot of them that are not as well off as we are, they seem to believe that your average American is just literally rich, like y'all all have to have buckets of money, you live in the streets that are paved with gold, and no, absolutely not. Listen, I am seeing people every day of a couple of races that come into my place of work and they can't afford to pay. They have, some of them have a cell phone, but they can't afford to pay the bill. Some of them cannot afford a cell phone at all. I'm like, really? Oh, Obama phones still exist. Like, what are you doing? Like, the level of poverty that is hitting a lot of people, it's insane. And I see it every day. I see it every day. I see the sob stories. I see people who have been applying for work for a long time and they cannot get any work. Nobody's hiring them. These people look like hell. Hell has kicked their ass. Some of them come in and they didn't bathe this morning, and then they'll tell you how they're sorry that they forgot to bathe. And I'm telling you, people are losing it. But that's not the point of this. It's not to get you into some gloom and doom, but most people, I think, regardless of race, have never had a financial education. They haven't learned nothing along the way. They haven't desired to take a serious look at their finances and say, this is important. I remember a black woman told me, I worked with her years ago, when she told me that she never saved not one dime in her life. And I looked at her like she was insane, seriously. And I said, are you serious? And she goes, yes. She goes, I figure I can't take it with me, so why save it when I'm here? And I had no words, because what she doesn't understand is what Money Rules was saying in his video. He said he interviewed some of these people that had a lot of money, but he said there was this one guy that was making, I think he said 500,000 a year. Like, he had some kind of high tech job or whatever. And the whole time he had the job, he never saved not one dime. And he was talking about how this guy had like a really ridiculous sneaker collection. I was like, sneakers? There's some people that are still on that time. And he was having a high life, I think he said, for a decade. And then he said when he got the phone call that they eliminated his position, he said his girlfriend came over or whatever, and he was holding his sneakers saying, I don't know how to sell them on eBay. I don't know how to sell them on eBay. I don't know how to sell them on eBay. The brother lost his mind. He lost his mind, right? Jobs are not guaranteed in the Constitution. It's just not, man. And the sheer number of the people who don't understand that you got to save something for a rainy day. That you gotta save, man. You gotta save. You gotta start somewhere because the jobs are going away. AI's. I didn't even know. I never heard of this Waymo thing in California. These driverless cars. I only heard about it when these crazy people over there in California were setting them on fire. For what reason? Why would you do that? I have no idea. Right? Driverless cars. Then I saw that somebody from Uber was saying that, yeah, we're going to be getting rid of these drivers in the future. He gave an interview or something. I was like, we've been talking about that, like AI and roboticization, or I don't know if that's a word, just robots. It's going to be getting rid of a lot of jobs, man. People have no idea. It's going to get to this point where in the future, if you tell somebody you have a job, they're going to be looking at you like, how did you get a job? Because it's going to be damn near impossible to get a job. And I was just thinking this morning, because this is a reality in America. I'm sure in some other countries that some jobs you can only get them if you know somebody, and you have to literally put some money in somebody's hand to get some jobs here in America. I'm pretty sure it's like that in different countries. Yeah, I'll give you the job. You may not be qualified, but you put $1,000 under the table. I'll give you this job. Yes, you're gonna see a lot of this. And you're going to see a lot of these black women who've been boasting about their degrees. White people are going to look for they're going to look out for their people. Would it BGS say 300,000 of them recently lost their job? White people are going to look out for white people, and then they're gonna further crunch that down even smaller. Yeah, you white, but how much money you got if you want to get this job? And if you don't have $1,000 to get a job, you're not going to get a job in the future. Your ass is going to have to wait until the welfare runs out. And then after that, you have to wait until the government announces a universal basic income of they've been doing pilots all around the country. A lot of people don't talk about this. Anytime you looked online, they'll tell you they have done pilots in different cities. They'll just find these people or put it in a newspaper somewhere, and they're going to start you off with. I think the last city I saw, it was like $500 a week. This thing is kept quiet. They must be telling these people don't say anything about it, right? And all they do is they track their spending and see how they're going to use the money. They've been doing this for a couple of years in America. We are going to a universal basic income because you cannot have millions of people that are not going to have jobs, and there's an abundance of guns, and the United States system is not stupid, so they're going to offer a universal basic income. And for some people it's going to be a come up because before there are millions of Americans. This is another fun fact that I found out, that are only operating on $20,000 a year. How can you live off of $20,000 a year? These people must be living in the middle of Alabama somewhere. $20,000 a year, right? I mean, it is what it is. It sounds crazy to me, but there's people that are still doing it in America. So closing it out, I saw a community post, and somebody said, that the new system that everybody's talking about, the economic collapse that everybody's talking about, is not going to be about a total collapse of the dollar. This person said it's going to be that rampant inflation is going to be so high that literally, what have they been reporting? People's rents have been raised up every year. There are people that are priced out of rent in America. It's the truth. You know, I knew that years ago when Buffalo, New York, it was never that high to rent a one bedroom. Like you can get a one bedroom in Buffalo, New York in decent neighborhoods for like 400, $500 a month. Why Buffalo has been in the last 5 years $1,200 a month. They are making everything so damn high that, like they said, you will own nothing and you will be happy. And do not be surprised. Listen what I'm telling you, because I think the Japanese were doing this, or they're still doing this. They're going to be selling these outdoor one person pods. Yes. You will be able to press a button and dim the lights. I could see this coming to America. I really could, because people have no idea. It doesn't matter if you're Democrat or Republican. These elite want everybody to be in a permanent state of serfdom. And if you don't understand that, you need to get your ass into cryptocurrency. What did they say in that episode? Buy crypto, suckers. Yes, it was right on the episode. I forget what episode it was. If you are not buying crypto, suckers, fuck, there's something wrong with you, man. Because this is one of the ways that's going to get you onto the other side. Because this is the fourth industrial revolution. Bunker TV said it correct. We are living in very interesting times. If you are not buying crypto, suckers, you're done. You're done. If you don't understand that XRP is going to be the world reserve currency, you are done. And it has to be at a high price. And the whole world is going to be run on XRP. You are done. How people can sit here and not take a hold of their financial life is beyond me. Do you want to be this directionless slave that's being given $1,000 a week for the rest of your life, and for you to find something to do? Because that's what's going to happen to people. You're going to have to find something to do. And a lot of people ain't going to make it with that.